What's up everyone? My name is Farid, you guys already know that. Welcome back to the channel. Today is a very special day. This is the first video that I'm recording on my new phone. You can't see my new phone because I'm using it to record it, but it's on my new phone. It's a Xiaomi. Again, Xiaomi is a fantastic phone company. But this video isn't about my phone. This video is about today. I'm recording it today, I'm gonna edit it today, and I'm gonna post it before midnight. Because today is Ask an Atheist Day, which is a very important day for me because, as you guys know, I'm an atheist. I mean, I've been an atheist for about 16 years now. I'm 31. I've been an atheist since I was 15. Over 16 years because I turned 32 in a couple months. So I'm an atheist, and today I'm going to answer some of the most commonly asked questions that I get as an atheist. I was gonna write them down, but I had to do some stuff, so I didn't write them down. They're all here. I hope I get to everyone, and if I miss some, there's always next year. So many noisy people in this town. Anyways, let's get started with two questions that I get from my family. Well, more than two. Some questions that I get from my family, and then some questions that I get from strangers on the internet. By the way, my hair is growing back, and I'm looking like Styles Stalinsky from Teen Wolf in the early seasons, except for the beard, so I'm liking it. Anyways, to the questions. I have two sisters. One of them is a pagan. She respects my atheism. She doesn't talk about it. The other is a Christian. Sometimes she tries to convert me to Christianity. And she's the one who's always asking me the following question. Did you know that Jesus died to save you? Did you know that Jesus died for your sins? To which I will very politely respond, you see, before I was an atheist, I was a Jew. So Jesus really didn't die for my sins. You know what I'm saying? I don't believe in Jesus, and before I was an atheist, I still didn't believe in Jesus. So, awkward. But anyways, sorry, not everyone believes in Jesus. And if you believe in Jesus, that's great. More power to you. But don't push it down my throat. Question number two. This one I got from my father. My father is a very, very complicated, well, not really, he's very simple-minded. But he is a very, very irritating person. But one of the questions that once he found out that I was an atheist, he started asking all of these questions to try and disprove me, to try and convert me to Christianity, because he became a very, very devout Christian when he found out I was gay. So one of the first things that he told me when he found out I was an atheist, one of the first things that he asked me was, how do you explain the world being perfect? God damn. How do you explain the world being perfect for us? How do you explain the perfection of the world, if not by intelligent design? My response to that is the world perfect? Really? What about cancer? Cancer is part of the world. Cancer is natural. Is that part of the perfection of the world? Is cancer perfect? What about AIDS? What about depression? Here's one that hits me personally. What about schizophrenia? I'm schizophrenic. Naturally, I didn't do anything that induced my schizophrenia. I am schizophrenic. Is that part of the intelligent design? Oh, but God works in mysterious ways. Why? Why can't we know? You know? Another question that I got asked by my dad, was, how do you explain all of the goodness in the world? How do you explain all the bad in the world? Sorry, there's a cute little kitten that we're cat sitting, fostering to adopt, and he just mailed. But anyways, how do you explain all the badness in the world? How do you explain, again, cancer? How do you explain 9/11? Slavery? That's the thing for me. Everyone says God is this benevolent, omnipotent, omnipresent being that sees everything, knows everything, and is all good, then why did he allow 9/11 to happen? Why did he allow slavery to happen? Why did he allow October 7th to happen? If God is perfect, if God exists and is perfect and is good, why did he let Hitler commit the Holocaust? It's a simple question. Demands a simple answer. Either God is not good, in which case, what a terrifying world it would be, or God is indifferent, which means he doesn't deserve praise, or he isn't all powerful, which defeats the purpose of God, or he's not real. I lean to believe that he is not real because everything else is horrifying. Okay, now I'm gonna jump to some questions that I get online, okay, that I've got a few times. If you believe there is no God, if you don't believe in the supernatural, what do you think happens when you die? That's a very common question. I get it very often. The cat is trying to escape his cradle. If you don't believe in God, what do you think happens after you die? Nothing. I believe nothing happens. I believe it's just oblivion. And it's not scary. It's just the same as before I was born. We're born, we're conscious for a little while. In the grand scheme of things, is a very little while. And then we die. And then we go back to non-existence. And it's not scary. It's comforting. Can you imagine spending eternity? Like eternity. Eternity is such a long time you can't even fathom it. But can you imagine spending eternity somewhere? Let's look at the options, shall we? You can become a ghost and haunt the earth. But the earth isn't going to exist forever. Eventually the sun is going to explode and the universe will end. And then what happens to your soul? To your immortal soul, to your ghost? You'll just be haunting the vacuum of space. How depressing. Or you go to hell, which some people say is fire and brimstone, and some people say is just the absence of God, in which case I'm living in hell right now. Or you go to heaven with all of the anti-LGBTQ+, anti-abortion, all of the homophobes and transphobes and conservative Christians that believe life begins at conception. You go to heaven with all of them. Or their religion is wrong and they don't go to heaven, but you do. And then what? You're just... My grandma was a Jehovah's Witness. And she used to say that heaven, paradise, she doesn't believe in heaven, she believes in paradise. She believes she's dead. Goddamn, she's dead. She used to believe in paradise, and she used to say that paradise is this beautiful garden, like the Garden of Eden. And the animals would all be docile, and you could have a lion as a pet, and you would be reunited with all of the true believers. So if you love someone who isn't a true believer, too bad, they're in hell. That doesn't sound like heaven to me. Like, think about it. She believed heaven was a place that she was going to where she could spend eternity separated from her children because her children don't believe the same thing she does. Does that sound heaven to you? It doesn't sound like heaven to me. So another question that I get very often is, what about Pascal's wager? Right? What about Pascal's wager? Isn't it safer to believe in God? Well, Pascal's wager is a fallacy. You see, it assumes that the only real God is the Christian God. That there's only one real God, and that God is the Christian God. So you're safer believing in him, because if you're wrong, you don't lose anything, than you are not believing in him, because if you're wrong, you go to hell. What if Anubis is the real God? What if it's Zeus? What if it's the Greek gods, or the Roman gods, or the Afro-pagan gods? My other sister, is Afro-pagan. She follows an Afro-pagan religion called Umbanda. What if her gods are the real one? Am I safer for believing in the Christian God if her gods turn out to be the real one? No, I'm believing in the wrong God. So, Pascal's wager is bullshit. It just is bullshit. It's biased. It's safer to not believe in any God, because then you offended all of them equally, than it is to believe in one God and hold him above everyone else and be like, I believe in this one, and then turn out to be wrong. If anything, Pascal's wager proves that it's safer to be an atheist. That's it for today. The video is about 11 minutes long now, and there's the intro and the outro, and I'm gonna edit and stuff like that. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and if you have any more questions about atheism, leave them in the comments down below, and I'll respond. By the way, I did my nails. Well, my mom did my nails. Aren't they pretty? I'm very fabulous. Anyways, I'm gonna go now because this video is getting long, and I still have to edit it, and it takes me a couple hours to edit it, and then I have to post it, and it's a whole thing. All right, bye.